Now back to Inside West Virginia Politics with Mark Curtis.
And welcome back to our final segment this weekend on Inside West Virginia Politics. My co-host Adrian Robbins is joining me, along with Garrett Ballengee, who's the Executive Director of the Cardinal Institute for West Virginia Policy. Great to have you on the show again,
Thanks
Garrett.
for having me back, Mark.
Welcome.
Adrian.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Obviously, legislative session coming up. It's a very busy time for you guys. What are you all looking for come January?
Well, first of all, I can't believe it's almost here. I mean, it feels like we just ended in June or July just a few weeks ago. Really, we're looking at a few different things. As a free market organization, we're looking at ways to continue to reform West Virginia's public policy so we can continue to create jobs and a better job creation environment in West Virginia. So one of the things that we think would really kind of facilitate that is reforming our occupational licensing regime. So what does that mean? Basically, it means that an entrepreneur, a future employee has to get a government permission slip in order to enter into the career of their choosing. So this has been an issue that's been studied across the country. It really got started with the Obama White House back in 2014 when they reviewed kind of the occupational licensing regimes of a bunch of different states. Cardinal realized this was something really woefully understudied in West Virginia. So we compared West Virginia to Ohio and Pennsylvania in a recent study. And we took a wide swath of 64 occupations, and we just looked at a few different things. How expensive is it to get a license? How expensive is it to renew a license? What kind of continuing education requirements? And unfortunately, West Virginia is much more expensive on average than Pennsylvania and Ohio. Oftentimes, renewal fees are much higher, and education requirements can be quite burdensome compared to two of our northern neighbors. So we think that is something, if we can continue to reform that, that'll help move West Virginia forward in a positive direction. Also, it doesn't help to have those sorts of burdens put into place when we already have a labor force participation rate that is consistently the worst in the country. And so that's one thing in particular we're working on.
Another thing people think is burdensome is the business inventory tax. There was a discussion about repealing it last year. We know it's coming up again. We just heard from the West Virginia Senate on Budget and Policy. They're dead set against us. Sure. You guys favor repealing the tax. Why? Oh,
absolutely. It's a very inefficient way to raise revenue. If you look at a lot of the states that we compete against in the Mid-Atlantic region, many of them don't have an inventory tax. When you talk to folks that are looking at moving a business to West Virginia, they often point to the inventory tax as this is something that is an inhibition to creating jobs here. I've talked to a few folks in West Virginia, as a matter of fact, in Charleston right here, that have pointed to the inventory tax as a burden and a hurdle in their way of expanding. And so it's just an antiquated tax, and as I mentioned, it's just a very inefficient way to raise revenue for the state.
Now, when you talk about repealing a tax, you may have a hard crowd out there this legislative session because they're talking already about budget cuts. Yeah. So when you talk about taking more money than away, how do you sell that to them?
Well, I mean, any time that you are going to repeal a tax, it has to be done so responsibly, right? Obviously, whenever you have a tax, you have a revenue stream built in. There are programs that are attached to that. So obviously, we would advocate for removing it in a responsible way. And so that goes for any sort of tax. We're big fans of potentially getting rid of the income tax, and that's something that we would have to do over the long term. But I think whenever you sit there and you set a goal, we're going to remove something, that sends a signal to investors, to folks that create jobs, and say, hey, West Virginia is no longer kind of an anti-business state. We're doing things to move the state forward in a positive direction. I think the inventory tax is a really good way of doing that.
The other thing that you guys differ wildly with West Virginia Center on Budget and Policy is it is advocating for an increase in the natural gas severance tax. Why do you oppose that?
Well, nothing that West Virginia does is done in a vacuum. And so when you look at natural gas from a competitive standpoint, our surrounding states have natural gas reserves. If I'm not mistaken, they're all either lower than our natural gas severance tax, or they don't have one at all. And so in the short term, would it be a revenue raiser? Yeah, it probably would be. In the long run, would it really hamper our natural gas industry? There's no doubt in my mind. And so whenever you're looking at creating a better environment, you have to look from a long-term perspective. And if you do that, contrary to what we just said, you're sending a signal that this is an anti-business state, and as I mentioned, you're putting the state in a long-run disadvantage competitively.
So 1 minute left. Quickly, I'd like to just touch on, obviously last year, education was the big issue. Yeah. I've heard differing delegates say that we need to revisit education, we didn't do enough, or we need to do things differently, and other delegates say, we've already done it, we need to move on and move to other issues. Obviously, education was something that your organization was was a big speaker for. What are your thoughts on that coming up?
Well, I don't think we did. We didn't go nearly far enough. We were big fans of the initial idea, which is unlimited charter schools, ESAs. I think anything that we can do to open up West Virginia's education system and allow families the ability to choose where they send their child for an education is a good idea. So I understand the art of political compromise. We applaud them for trying something bold, but I think we absolutely cannot rest on our laurels as the final bill ended.
All right. Well, let's have you back midway through session, get a progress report. Garrett Ballengee, Executive Director of the Cardinal Institute for Policy in West Virginia. I'll get it right one of these days. Thank you for watching Inside West Virginia Politics this week, and don't forget to download us from your favorite podcast location.